Welcome to the Heroes to Hives program. I'm Dr. Adam Ingrayo. I'm the National Director and co-founder of the Heroes to Hives program, and in this first video of the Heroes to Hives program, I'm going to discuss to you a little bit about the program and how the online program works so that you can see how to navigate this program and what to expect as you go through it. So let's go ahead and get started. So Heroes to Hives was established in 2015 and is one of the largest beekeeping education programs in the United States. We are a science-based beginning beekeeping education course taught by experts. Entomologists like myself, university extension personnel, and master beekeepers are who you're going to be learning from in this course. And for the last decade, we have been offering this course only to U.S. service members and their families. But this year, we have opened up the course to anyone that's passionate about beekeeping. The course is hosted by Michigan Food and Farming Systems, and we are a program within this nonprofit. So this is a nonprofit program that you are participating in. The online program itself is all housed on our YouTube channel, and you will find that just by going to YouTube and searching Heroes to Hives, or you may be here as a part of the beginning of the course right now. The course itself, the online course, is a self-paced course, so there's no time limits to access these materials. You have access to these materials as long as the Heroes to Hives program is around and this YouTube channel is in existence. So there's no time limit on this course any longer. Previously, we used to run a 9-month course that ended at the end of every single year. That is not the case anymore for access to the course materials. The course materials do need to be watched in the order that they're set up in, and they're listed under the Courses tab on our YouTube channel. So as you navigate to our YouTube channel, you'll see the Courses tab. Click on that Courses tab, and you're going to see 2 courses open up. The Heroes to Hives course and our Be Calm, Be Well course. The Heroes to Hives Beginning Beekeeping Education course is what you're likely looking for, and if you're watching it, the beginning of the course, this is the video that starts that course out. So that's the course you're going to be looking at. Now, when you get underneath that Courses tab, and the 2 options pop up as far as the courses that we do offer, you want to basically go underneath those icons and look at the View Full Course. So there's a little spot there that says View Full Course under both of those icons. By clicking that, you're going to be able to see the full course curriculum. If you just click on the icon for the Heroes to Hives program, what it's going to do is going to start you at the first video. Okay, so if you do want to see the full curriculum, that's where you're going to go to. That'll also let you navigate to anywhere within the course in the Heroes to Hives course with how it's housed on YouTube currently. Now, navigating the course, there's basically going to be 4 types of curriculum that you're going to see in this course. There's going to be lectures, and lectures are generally about a half hour to maybe 2 hours in length. The course is designed like a college-level beekeeping education course, and so you're going to be taught in long lecture format. If that is too much for you, if it's sitting 2 hours and listening to pests and pathogens is too much, you can stop and start these back up at any time. You don't have to watch them in one shot to go through. 2 hours is a long time. Maybe that's not something for you, so you can take this in bits. But you do need to note that this is a course that's developed to be very academically rigorous. There's going to be a lot of information that you're going to be given in this course that you may not get in other beginning beekeeping courses because it's so in-depth. We also involve instructional videos in this course, and those are typically 5 to 20 minutes in length. That's me doing something in the bee yard, teaching you how to light a smoker, teaching you how to do an inspection, teaching you how to do a mite check, something like that, but something hands-on in the bee yard, so it's topic specific. Now, the lectures do build upon one another, so it is expected that you watch those lectures in order. However, the instructional videos are topic specific, so you can just jump into those instructional videos if that's something that's of interest to you. But as far as the lectures are concerned, I may reference material earlier in the course. If you're just jumping around in lectures, you may miss something if you do just jump back and forth between lectures. In the descriptions of these videos, if there are handouts or resources that are associated with these videos, and several of these videos do have some pretty great resources in addition to just the lecture material or the instructional video, That's going to be listed in the description section of the video. So if you do see that as you're looking through the description of the video and you see links to other items in there, they're listed as handouts / resources for this lecture or for this instructional video. Those are meant to be there for your support. They are not required. We're not going to test you on anything in those additional resources, but I would highly recommend looking at them because we don't put anything in there just to put it in there. It's all in there for your use and for your benefit. At the end of the course, you will see a series of 10 practices called Be Calm, Be Well practices. These are evidence-based practices that we have co-developed with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs that have been shown, if used in a beekeeping setting, can reduce depression and anxiety up to 30%. And so this is something that is well-founded. We published a research paper on this in 2024 on this particular research and these practices. If that's something of interest to you, if you're interested in using bees as a therapeutic modality, if that's of interest to you, those practices are there for you. In addition, the very last video in this course has a overview of our facilitator training for that particular Be Calm, Be Well program. If that is of interest to you, becoming a facilitator, meaning teaching these particular methods to other people, we have an entire video that teaches you how to go through that training process. That entire process is online and is housed within the Department of Veterans Affairs, but anybody can access those training materials. The Be Calm, Be Well full facilitator training course is an 8-hour course. So if you are interested in that, the last video in the course will describe to you how to, what is necessary to become a facilitator and where those training materials are housed. So that might be something of interest to you as well. But that's what to expect from the online portion of this course. Now, we also offer a certificate of completion exam. That certificate of completion exam, the full details of that exam are on our website. So you're going to go to our website, heroestohives.org, and you'll see an exam button there right underneath our banner. Click the exam button, and you'll go, and it'll bring you right to the description page for the exam. The exam does cost to take, and you are going to be charged $25 if you're a U.S. service member. That means that you have served in the U.S. Armed Services as a veteran, or you are currently active duty, a reservist, or National Guard. This fee structure is only for U.S. military. If you are from a foreign service, you are going to have to pay $50 like everybody else. I do want everybody to understand that this course has been developed specifically for U.S. military personnel and their families. That is our target audience. Although we do allow anybody to participate in this course, that will always be our target audience. And so U.S. service members are going to receive a discounted rate for the exam. Everybody else is going to be charged $50. You are required to take a survey before the exam. So when you pay for the exam, you go through the registration process, you're going to pay for the exam. Once you pay for the exam, you will immediately get a link to the exam that's going to show up on your screen after you submit your payment. And you will also get an email with a link to the exam in it as well. The exam is open until December 31st, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So that is when the exam will close. So no matter when you sign up to take the exam, that's when it's going to close. You have unlimited attempts and unlimited time to take this exam. But we do close the exam at the end of the year, and the reason that we do that is because from the end of the year to April 1st, which is when we'll reopen the exam, that period of time is when we're updating the course, updating the exam with any changes that need to be made to reflect what's currently going on in the U.S. beekeeping industry. So that will always happen as we go into this new format. But you will have to take the exam no matter when you pay for it. You will have to take the exam, complete the exam by the end of the year, December 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. Okay, so that's what you can expect. The exam, once you pass the exam, we will send you a certificate of completion to your email that you have registered with when you register for the exam. Make sure you give us a valid email. Please make sure you give us a valid email. Check your typing when you're typing that in. You will receive your emailed certificate to you within 4 weeks of taking the exam. You will also, if you live in the United States, and this is only for residents of the US, if you live in the United States, we will send you a patch and sticker as well. You have to have a mailing address in the United States in order to receive that. We will not send, even if you're a US citizen, we will not send it overseas. Only if you're a US resident will you receive a patch and sticker from us. Once you pass the exam itself is recognized by the U.S. Department of Agriculture as a year of experience in beekeeping. So by passing this exam, you get a little bit of experience as according to the Department of Agriculture. Now, what does that mean for you? For those of you that are interested in getting things like farm loans through the Farm Service Agency, there are education or experience requirements required to be eligible for those types of loans. Our program counts as 1 year of experience for that. Other organizations like the Farmer Veteran Coalition here in the United States that offers the Farmer Veteran Coalition Fellowship Program, which is basically a grant program for U.S. veterans. They recognize our program as well. So if you're applying for that fellowship, which opens up once a year, usually in the beginning of the year, and you can go to Farmer Veteran Coalition to find out more about that. We have had hundreds of our students that have received this fellowship. But when you apply for that fellowship, saying that you have taken the Heroes to Hives course and graduated, that does have some weight to that application process because it is a competitive process. We are also a Great Plains Master Beekeeping approved course. The Great Plains Master Beekeeping course is a master beekeeping course that's run out of the University of Nebraska. It is our Midwest-based master beekeeping program. Now, because the Heroes to Hives program is a Midwest-based program, all the instruction is going to be catered to the Midwest. Although we allow everybody in the United States to participate, we are a Midwest-based program, and most of our partners are throughout the Midwest, like the University of Missouri, University of Minnesota, Michigan State University. So we are focused on the Midwest, even though everybody else can take part in the program. If you do pass the Certificate of Completion exam and you are based in the Midwest, we can also transfer your credits over to the Great Plains Master Beekeeping course, and you can continue your education there. Our credits, the credits that you receive from Heroes to Hives when you get the certificate, what that basically means is that you have met all of the requirements for the online portion of the Great Plains Master Beekeeping course. So all the education, the lectures and things that you would have to watch to progress through the apprentice level of the Master Beekeeping course, we take care of all of that by passing our course. You'll be able to take care of all of that. So we'll transfer those credits over, and then you'll get an email from them, usually in about a month or two, telling you to reset your password as they've set up an account for you. So that is another thing that we can do. We do not have any agreements with any other master beekeeping programs, and we are a Midwest-based program. I just want to reinforce that. And so we don't have plans to basically make any adjustments to that. We worked very hard with GPMB to make sure that our education aligned with their education so that this could happen. And currently, we don't have plans to transfer this to anywhere else in the United States. So just know that if you're in the Midwest, that is a program that you can take advantage of. If you're interested in seeing where GPMB is located throughout the United States, you can go to their website, gpmb.unl.edu. All right. So that's a little bit about the Certificate of Completion exam as well. So basically the way that the course works, you're going to go through these videos at your own pace. If you decide you want to take the Certificate of Completion exam, you have the option to do that. There's no expectation. If you just want to watch these videos and enjoy learning about beekeeping, that's great too. But if you do want this certificate, we do offer that, and this is what you'll get from that. All right, so I want to wrap up this short video with just a few things about the program itself. So what the program is and what it is not, and then also our frequently asked questions, because we had a lot of questions about the Heroes to Hives program. All right, so what is the Heroes to Hives program? Well, it's a beginning beekeeping education course taught like a college level beekeeping class. This isn't set up like, short videos that you can just, watch 5 minutes and go away from. These are taught like lectures I would teach at a college. And so it is expected that you're going to sit down and take notes and learn. If that's not if this format doesn't work for you, there are plenty of other resources on YouTube and other places to get short educational tidbits of beekeeping information. But this course is designed like a college level beekeeping course, and that's how it's taught. So the lectures can be kind of long. You're going to listen to me talk about a lot of things, but that's how the course is formatted. I also want to say that I'm very passionate about beekeeping. And so throughout the course, you're going to see that passion coming through in these lectures because I'm your primary instructor. And so I want you to just note that when I'm talking passionate about beekeeping, I'm not trying to chide anybody or discount anybody or make you feel like I'm angry at you or anything like that. It's pure passion coming through. I'm very passionate about the survival of honeybees. One thing that I oftentimes say is we do not need more beekeepers in the US. We absolutely do not need more beekeepers. What we need is more educated beekeepers whose bees survive from year to year. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to teach you and give you the tools for you to be successful. And the success is your bees surviving year to year. So I am very passionate about bee survival. And that's why we're teaching you the details of the course that we do. Again, this is a Midwest-based program for a Midwest-based audience. However, all over the world, people have participated in the Heroes to Hives course and taken great information from it. But always know that this is being taught to the Midwest. So there is never a replacement for you getting local education. All beekeeping is local. The fundamentals of biology may not change very much, but there are very, very distinct differences between management of honeybees, even between where I live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and Lower Michigan. So, the difference between Michigan and California is night and day when it comes to beekeeping, seasonality, the way that you manage things. So just note that you should always dovetail your Heroes to Hives education with local education, meaning every single one of you should be a member of your local bee club and your state beekeeping organization, because that's where your local experts are going to be. I could teach you all day about beekeeping in Michigan, but I'm not going to be able to teach you about beekeeping in Texas or beekeeping in Arizona as well. That's where your local education comes in. Again, this is a training program focused on the success of U.S. military families. So there is a lot of curriculum in here that is not related to civilians and not related to individuals who are not residents of the U.S., particularly our business development section of the course that was developed by Vet Biz Central. And that is focused specifically on veterans starting businesses here in the United States. So those types of pieces of curriculum, like our business development section, you will not be tested on any of that. Just know that. You're not going to be tested on any of the business development or marketing things that we have in the course. Everything we test you on, if you take the certificate of completion exam, is going to be on beekeeping specifically, not any of the other things. We'll ask you a few questions about USDA registration and things like that, because that's important for those of us here in the United States. But just know that the focus is on beekeeping when we test you. But this is a program for U.S. military and their families. And so that's always going to be the target audience, will be the Midwest and that demographic. However, you're all welcome here as well. What this course is not, well, it's not a replacement for local education. Absolutely not. Beekeeping can be done all sorts of different ways. I'm going to teach you the way that I beekeep successfully here in Michigan. But there are plenty of other ways to be successful at beekeeping. And the mark of success of a beekeeper, in my opinion, is if your annual losses are less than 15%, you are a successful beekeeper, no matter how you're keeping your bees. Your bees are staying alive, and that 15% mark is the mark of sustainability in our industry when it comes to losses. And so if you're at that level, whatever you're doing, whatever your mentor's doing, may be completely different than what I'm doing. Maybe you live in a completely different place. It doesn't mean that any of these things are right or wrong. It's just a different approach to things. So know that there are many different ways to keep bees in the United States successfully. What I'm teaching you is one method that we have used successfully here in the Midwest for well over a decade and has worked for thousands of students that we've worked with in our region. What this course is not, well, it's not a place to ask all your beekeeping questions. I am one person running this entire course on a very, very part-time level to deliver this to you. So there is no time to answer thousands of beekeeping questions from individuals taking this course. Where you should be asking your beekeeping questions, if you have a question about your bees, You should be reaching out to your local extension service. You should be reaching out to your local beekeeping club. You should be reaching out to your state beekeeping club. You can reach out to national organizations like NCAT, as well. That is NCAT, the National Center for Appropriate Technology. They have basically an office hours that they offer for beekeeping questions that you can join in. There's lots of colleges that offer beekeeping questions, like Michigan State University offers a virtual online office hours, I believe once a month. There's lots of places to get your questions answered. We are not the place for that. We just don't have the staffing capacity to answer the questions from the thousands of students that take our course every single year. Maybe one day when we have lots of funding and things are great from that perspective, maybe we could offer that. But currently, we just don't have the capacity to do that. And again, this course is not the only way to keep bees. There's lots of ways to keep bees. So just know that this is just one way that I'm going to be teaching you of keeping bees here in the Midwest. All right, I'm just going to wrap up with a lot of our frequently asked questions. Do I need bees to take the course? No, you do not need bees to take the course. If you have never kept bees before, I highly recommend you do not start this year or start before you finish this course. Take the course, learn, get some knowledge under your belt, and then start with bees. Starting bees just to start bees is basically just you're going to kill the bees. Bees are not like other types of livestock. They are very difficult to keep. There is a steep learning curve when it comes to keeping bees because most of us have never worked with insects as livestock, and they are very different than any other kind of livestock. So make sure you take the course first, get your education first, and then start with bees. Trust me, I've been doing this almost 20 years and teaching for over a decade, and I can't tell you how many students have come back to me year after year and said, Dr. Adam, I am really glad I did not take the initiative to start with bees this year, and I took the course first because I learned so much. And the course is not set up to basically follow you through a year of beekeeping. So if you think you're going to basically start the course with your bees and then learn as you go, no, this course is developed like a college level course. The concepts build upon themselves. They are not aligned with seasonality whatsoever. So just know, taking the course first and then starting with bees. I get this a lot. What questions did I miss on the exam? So when you take the exam, you are going to get an immediate score on the exam, and it will also give you a full printout. You can print out a PDF. It has a little link right there on the results that will show all of the results of the exam, all your answers to all the questions. However, we do not give you the answers to the questions. We don't even tell you which ones you missed. You'll get a score and it'll tell you how many you missed, but we do not mark which ones you missed. And the reason is because the expectation is that you have studied this material and you know this material. The expectation is not that you take this exam once, get all the correct answers, and then come back and take the exam again and get all the right answers. We're going to make you work for this a little bit. And so you're going to get all the questions after you take your first go at the exam. And maybe then it's time to sit down and go through those questions one by one and really figure out what you missed. But we will not give you the correct answers to these exams, no matter how many times you take it. So just know that there is an expectation that we're testing your knowledge outcomes on this, not how well you can basically take a test and then retake a test with the correct answers in your hand. So that's something to note. This exam has been very well vetted. I know all the questions are correct. I have taken the exam several times myself. I know that every answer is correct on here. So if you miss something, it's not because the exam is wrong. It's because you've likely read the question wrong. Be very careful when you read these questions. Why can't I comment on videos? Okay, so like I said before, we do not have staff to deal with thousands of questions that we get, well, we used to get every single month. So there are no comments on these videos. The videos are not intended to create a community of conversation. They're intended to be instructional. If we do at some point get funding to hire somebody to monitor our YouTube channel, maybe then we'll be able to open up the comment sections. But right now, there is not the staff capability at Heroes to Hives to do that. And so all the comments will be closed on these videos. Who can I speak with about beekeeping questions? Well, I talked about that just a little bit earlier, but please do not send me your personal beekeeping questions. If you have a problem with the course itself, maybe a link is dead somewhere or something like that, please email me and let me know. But if you have a personal beekeeping question or a question about agriculture or something like that, please note that we are working with thousands of people and we do not have the capacity to do that. So just note that if you have a beekeeping question, I listed plenty of other places that you can go get answers for those. We have created this course specifically to support you as an online course. We do not have the capability to answer hundreds of questions from people every single month. How do I find out about Heroes to Hives events? Well, you can go to our webpage, heroes2hives.org, and sign up for our newsletter. And when we have events that we're posting, we will send that out through the newsletter. The events that we do have scheduled, typically, we do an annual conference. Last year it was a virtual conference. The year before it was in person. I think this year we likely will be doing another virtual conference. We'll keep you posted on that. But the way that you're going to know about those things is by signing up for the newsletter. We'll advertise them through our Facebook and our Instagram, but that's where we're going to be posting all of that. So if you're interested in those types of events, let us know by filling out the short form on our newsletter link on our webpage. Okay, will there be additional content added to the program? So in previous years, when there has been ample federal funding through USDA grants to support the program, which there are not any longer, we did oftentimes add additional content every single year to the course. We do not plan on adding any additional content to this course right now. And that is because the federal funding avenues that have funded Heroes to Hives for over a decade are all completely closed at this point. If they reopen, if we are able to get federal support or a large state grant or something like that that supports the program, or if you're an individual and you want to donate a large amount of money to the program so that we can develop new content, we're always happy to receive that. But that is something that we will not be doing anytime soon. If that changes, we will be happy to develop new content. We've got a lot of new content that we had planned on developing before all the USDA grant programs were essentially shut down. So we'll see where that all goes. But right now, there's no plans to add additional content. How do I support the program? Well, at the bottom of each video, there is a description that has 3 ways that you can support our program. This program right now is entirely donor funded. The only thing keeping Heroes to Hives going is folks like you donating to the program. You can do one-time donations. You can do reoccurring monthly donations. You can also just support us by buying merchandise from our Heroes to Hives store. So branded merchandise like the sweatshirt I'm wearing today can be found at our store, which you can find on our website or in the description of every single video in this course. You can also, if you're into fine art, we also have an artist that his last collection he created before he passed away was focused on pollinators, and Heroes to Hives was a big component of that. Devon Cunningham, a very famous Detroit artist. So his last collection has several pieces, original pieces that do have Heroes to Hives imagery in them, and then a whole collection of pollinator pieces. I believe there's always over 40 original pieces in the collection. You can purchase those, and those proceeds come back right to Heroes to Hives. So if you're interested in purchasing fine art around pollinators, that's a great avenue to support our program and get a really beautiful piece of some really significant art. So those are the ways that you can support the program. We greatly appreciate all your support, all your donations. If they're done through the donation portal on our website, there's a little donate button on the top portion of the website, and then you just select Heroes to Hives as the program you want to support. All those donations are tax deductible through Michigan Food and Farming Systems, and you will get a receipt sent to you for that donation quickly after that donation is made. So we really appreciate the support, and again, this is not possible without support from people like you. Can I transfer my Heroes to Hives credits to another program or college degree? Well, the only program we have an agreement with is the Great Plains Master Beekeeping Program, which is not a college level program. It's an extension program at University of Nebraska, so it's not a college degree program. Our credits are also not transferable to any college degree either. And then where do I buy bees from or equipment from? We do not make any recommendations on those types of things. Most of your major manufacturers like Man Lake, Dayton, Better Bee, Acorn, Pureco, pretty much all of these places, they all produce kind of similar equipment. Some are going to be higher quality than others, but we don't make any of those recommendations for what to buy, where to buy bees from, or where to buy equipment from. And the last one I've got on here is where do I find a mentor? We are not a mentor-based program. We are focused on education, so we do not provide you with links to mentors. However, if you are interested in seeing, in talking with someone who's gone through the Heroes to Hives program that has identified themselves as someone who is willing to do that, you can find that on our homepage at heroestohives.org. Just scroll down the screen and you'll see a map that's listed down there. You click on that map, it'll bring you to a Google map that has basically two categories of individuals that have gone through our program. The ones that are gold starred individuals are individuals who have identified themselves as someone that you could contact as a potential mentor or someone you could ask questions to. The blue dots are Heroes to Hives alumni-owned businesses, so they might be someone you could contact as well. But the gold stars are people who specifically identified themselves as individuals that are willing to be contacted by Heroes to Hives students. So that might be something to check out. We do not vet our mentors. These are just individuals that have completed the course. So I would say, and with any mentor you're working with, do your due diligence. Make sure it's someone that you feel safe with. Make sure that you're not putting yourself in any sort of risky situation. There are a lot of people out there willing to support you. I would say the best place to find a mentor is your local bee club. There's other ways that people find mentors, but that is usually the best way to find them. So that's little details about the FAQs for the Heroes to Hives course this year. And if you have any questions or need any support in the course as far as technical support, there's something wrong with a link or something like that, this is my contact information here that you can reach out to. So I thank you for taking the Heroes to Hives course. I hope you enjoy the course. It's a robust piece of education that you're endeavoring into, but take it seriously. Really learn what we're talking about. Take notes, pay attention to things while we're talking in these lectures, and you will be like, the hundreds of others, hundreds and thousands of other students that have taken the Heroes to Hives course and have become successful beekeepers. We hope you enjoy the course. Thanks for participating.